It's time for another Shifts and Pucks Podclip.
Go with the fact that realistically, you're looking at a sort of a longer term approach next season and the season after. Let's look back at 2018 and the deadline that happened then. The New York Rangers came out and said that they are rebuilding. They sent a letter out to their season ticket holders and said, we are rebuilding, essentially. And then they went off and made a bunch of major trades. They made 6 trades between when they made that announcement and that letter to the deadline, and there are 3 that need to be looked at. Actually, I would say 4, honestly. 1 not in the best light because they traded Ryan Graves for Chris Begris. That did not work out for them. Ryan Graves is one hell of a defensive defenseman that I don't think people realize how good he is.
Amazing. I fucking love watching him play.
But
can
then
you imagine where Colorado would be with him?
Scary.
Yeah.
But they also traded Michael Grabner to the Devils for Igor Rykov and a 2018 second-round pick. I'll get back to that second-round pick in a bit. They also traded Rick Nash to the Boston Bruins. And this is one, what the fuck were the Bruins thinking in this trade? They traded Ryan Spooner, Matt Bolesky, Ryan Lindgren, again, another absolutely solid defensive defenseman. That is something that's missing in Boston right now. I will say that. Could you imagine Ryan Lindgren and Brandon Carlo on the same blue line? That'd be a scary blue line to play against. A 2018 first round pick and a 2019 7th round pick.
Who'd that first round pick turn out to be?
That first round pick was they traded up and they packaged it with that second round pick they got from the Devils. They traded up to the 22nd overall pick and they got J.T.Miller.
Damn.
I told you I'd get to that second round pick in the future. And then the other big trade that they made was they traded Ryan McDonough and J.T.Miller to the Lightning for Vladislav Nemestikov, Lubor Hajek, Brett Howden, and a 2018 first round pick. That first round pick turned into Niels Lundqvist. Okay, also with that Rangers that Rick Nash trade, Ryan Spooner turned into Ryan Strome.
That's right. That was the Spooner for Strome trade.
Another great Peter Chiarelli 1-for-1 trade. But and Matt
bring
Bolesky
Chiarelli back, please.
Is 1-for-1 going to be on his gravestone?
Matt Bolesky was nothing, but the fact that they turned Rick Nash into Ryan Strome and essentially J.T.Miller, that's pretty good. I don't think they did as well on that in this Ryan McDonough and J.T.Miller trade, though. So they traded Ryan McDonough and J.T.Miller to the Lightning for Vladislav Nemestikov, Libor Hajek, Brett Howden, and 2018 first round pick, which turned into Niels Lundqvist.
You can't win them all, though.
No, but
what?
Brett Howden was eventually traded for Nick DeSimone, who is now playing for the Stockton Heat.
Woo!
And Libor Hajek is essentially a fringe NHLer at this point. Nemestikov got traded for Nick Ebert, who is essentially an AHL player, and a 4th round pick in 2021, which turned into Kali Vysenev, which I probably butchered his name. I did butcher his name. Let's put it that way. But Nick Ebert did turn into nothing. But out of all those trades, they ended up with J.T.Miller and Ryan Strome and Niels Lundqvist, who are good young players or key players for them in this season.
Keandre
If
Miller
I'm looking
is
long term for the Canucks. Sorry, Dev, go ahead.
Keandre Miller, if anybody who has not been paying attention, is a second line defenseman.
Yeah.
And he's a great young prospect. Now, before you move on, Sean, as well, is that they could have gotten Jacob Bernard Docker because that was the first round pick going to the Sens.
Yeah. So, yeah, because that was, I think they traded with the Sens. They traded up to get Keandre Miller, and the Sens traded down and got Jacob Bernard Docker. So either way, you're getting a good. Keandre Miller's in the NHL now and is already a top 4 defenseman. Jacob Bernard Docker looks like he's going to be a top 4 defenseman. So if we're looking at this, how do the Canucks replicate that going forwards? I know I've been someone who says don't trade J.T.Miller. You have to at least, you have to listen. That's what the Canucks are doing. They are listening.
You can join us Mondays when we talk Canucks, and then Wednesdays we talk Flames. Follow us on Twitter at Shifts and Pucks, Facebook.com Shifts and Pucks, YouTube.com Shifts and Pucks, Twitch.com Shifts and Pucks, or wherever you get your podcasts.